That voice.
Yeah.
You know it anywhere, right? Sam Cooke, the king of soul.
Nobody like him.
And today, we're diving deep into his world.
We are.
A world of gospel, hit records, fighting for what's right, and of course, the mystery of how he died.
It really is an amazing story, a classic American story, you could say, full of ambition and talent, but also, sadly, tragedy.
Yeah, no shying away from that.
No, he lived through so much. Gospel, the pull of pop music, the civil rights movement gaining momentum.
A lot to unpack.
There is.
So let's rewind all the way back.
Okay.
1930s Mississippi.
Right?
Sam Cooke, a preacher's kid, practically growing up in the church choir.
Makes sense.
By 19, he's leading the Soul Stirrers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge in the gospel world, right?
Oh, absolutely. A huge name. But then that's where things take this fascinating turn. It's 1950, gospel's thriving, but Cooke's got this other idea. He wants to reach everybody, explore a different sound, something he feels deep down, that soulful bluesy sound that would change everything.
Talk about a risk, though. Leaving gospel back then. That's your family, your fans, your whole world.
A huge risk.
It really was a leap of faith, wasn't it? Literally, what made him do it.
You have to remember the stigma back then. A gospel singer going secular, huge deal. But Cooke, he was something else, a visionary. He felt this pull towards something different, something he had to share. Crossing over like that, practically unheard of. But he took the plunge, even used the name Dale Cooke for that first pop single, Lovable.
Like a secret identity.
Oh, no.
Trying to keep the two worlds separate, maybe.
Yeah, like he was testing the waters, seeing how people would react. But that voice.
Unmistakable.
Exactly. Pure Sam Cooke. No hiding it.
And then, get this. He gets a blessing from his father, a Baptist minister. That's huge.
Oh, massive. Your own father saying, go for it, use your gift. That means everything.
Yeah.
Shows Cooke wasn't turning his back on his roots. He just understood the power of music in church, on the radio, whatever. It moves people, gets them right here.
And move people he did. We're talking, You Send Me, Chain Gang, Cupid, Twisting the Night Away. Those weren't just songs. They were everywhere. Anthems.
Every single one a masterpiece, showing off that incredible range, smooth as silk. He could do it all. Ballads, upbeat stuff, you name it. The man was a hit machine. 30 top 40 hits in what, like 7 years?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And he didn't just ride that wave. He took control. Started his own record label, publishing company. A real businessman on top of the musical genius.
Absolutely.
You see that drive in artists today, but back then, especially for a black artist, almost unheard of.
He knew the music industry wasn't always fair, especially to black artists. He wanted control of supporting other artists, of creating opportunities that were being denied. He saw a different way, a way to uplift his community and forge his own path. Took guts, took vision.
No doubt.
But it wasn't just the hits, the business smarts. There was something about that voice, something that went beyond categories, beyond words even.
It really is something else.
Yeah.
You listen to him, it's not just a voice, it's a whole story, full of emotion.
It really is. Gets you right here.
You hear people describing it, velvety,
Yeah.
expansive, all those words. And it's true, but it's more than that. The way he connects with you.
The feeling.
Yeah. And that range, hitting those high notes so easily, so clear. Incredible.
It really is. Transcended genres, soul, pop, jazz, even rock and roll, that mix of gospel feeling, but with this pop sensibility. Timeless.
Absolutely.
Think about it. Otis Redding, James Brown, even Rod Stewart, Paul McCartney, all influenced by him.
It's an amazing lineage. But tragically, that voice, it was silenced way too soon.
It's a night shrouded in mystery. Even now, all these years later, people are still debating what really happened. December 11th, 1964, the night Sam Cooke died.
And the story behind it. So complicated. The official version from the motel manager, Bertha Franklin, it's self-defense. But the more you dig into it,
Disturbing, to say the least.
to understand it at all, you got to go back to the start of that night. Cooke's at the Hacienda Motel, pretty low-rent place in south central L.A. with this woman, Elisa Boyer. Boyer later tells police she'd met Cooke earlier that night. He'd been drinking heavily. And she claimed he basically kidnapped her, forced her to go to the motel.
That's what she said.
Her story, it's scary. She claims Cooke assaulted her in the room, that she only got away when he went to the bathroom. She even says she grabbed his clothes by accident and she was running out, panicked. Meanwhile, back at the motel, things take this awful turn. Franklin, the manager, says Cooke comes banging on her office door, out of it, furious, wanting to know where Boyer is. Only partially dressed, too, which is strange.
Doesn't add up.
Exactly. Franklin claims she warned him off, but he forced his way in. There was a struggle, and she shot him. Self-defense, she says. Police get there. Cooke's dead. Gunshot to the chest. I mean, for a man at the top of his game like that.
Awful. Just awful.
And this is where it gets even murkier. Boyer's story. It has holes. People question why. If she was so scared, she'd stop to grab his clothes.
Right.
Plus, there were people at the restaurant they'd been at earlier. They said Cooke and Boyer seemed fine, getting along.
True, true. Although you could say, even if she seemed okay earlier, it doesn't mean she was consenting to anything later. Happens all the time, sadly.
Tragically, you're right. And then there's the money that was missing. Cooke was known to carry a lot of cash, and it was gone.
Gone. Poof.
And then you've got Etta James's account. She said when she saw Cooke's body before the funeral, there were injuries that didn't match up, bruises, lots of them, like it was more violent than Franklin let on.
People say that.
So much doesn't make sense.
No.
But despite all that, the coroner ruled it justifiable homicide.
Yeah.
Case closed.
Just like that.
But even today, there are doubts. Cooke's family, people who knew him, they think there's more to the story. We may never know the full truth. It's a mess, really. And sadly, we may never have all the pieces. But what we do know is that the world lost someone incredible. And soul music. It lost a king way too soon.
33 years old, that's all he was.
Think about everything he'd already done in that short time and where he was heading.
It's hard not to think about, isn't it? What if things had gone differently?
The music he might have made, the change he might have been a part of.
We can only imagine. But one thing's for sure, Cooke's influence, it's everywhere. Even after he was gone, his impact just grew. A change is going to come.
Released after he died, right?
Right. Became an anthem for the civil rights movement, for so much more. Still resonates today, that message of hope, of pushing forward.
Absolutely. And it shows you how powerful he was, not just as a musician, but as a symbol.
Yeah.
Black excellence right there.
Exactly. He didn't let anyone put him in a box. Didn't matter the genre, the expectations. He pushed boundaries, challenged everything and used his voice to lift people up.
That was Sam Cooke, the king of soul. A man whose music, it just stays with you. Makes you think, reminds you that things can change.
His life was cut short, yeah, but what a testament to talent, to drive, to believing in something better.
A true inspiration.
Yeah.
So next time you hear Sam Cooke, and I hope you do, if you haven't really listened before, think about the man behind that voice. Think about what he dreamed of, what he accomplished in such a short time. It makes you wonder, what else could he have done? What would the world be like?
It's a question worth asking.
It really is. Sam Cooke, everyone. Until next time, thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.